The following is an Investor Brand Network audio production via our audio press release solutions. As a multifaceted financial news and publishing company, Investor Brand Network utilizes its network of more than 5,000 distribution partners as well as other corporate communication tools to introduce public and private companies to a wide audience of investors, consumers, journalists, and the general public. Investor Brand Network's platform connects the investment community with companies that have great potential and a strong dedication to building shareholder value. The following audio press release may feature a client partner of Investor Brand Network. Investor Brand Network may have been compensated for the production of this audio production. Please be sure to read our entire disclaimer for full disclosure.
NetworkNewsWire presents The Power of Science to Stop a Killer. Nearly half of all American adults suffer from hypertension, also known as high blood pressure, often referred to as a silent killer. More than 114 million adults in this country are at risk from damage caused by the long-term force of blood beating against artery walls, which often leads to disease and death. The good news is that hypertension is treatable and manageable through lifestyle changes and medications. Fact is, there are several approved blood pressure medications on the market, yet only about 1 in 5 people diagnosed with hypertension take medication. Why so few? Unfortunately, the side effects of these medications often outweigh the benefits. However, a new hypertension blockbuster may be imminent. A safer, better-tolerated drug candidate just marked a major milestone on the path to approval and commercialization. A global innovator in drug delivery platforms, Lexaria Bioscience Corp, or LEXX on NASDAQ, has been quietly progressing through clinical processes and amassing a growing body of evidence that strongly supports use of its patented dihydratech technology in hypertension therapeutics. The company's valuation looks attractive with arguably significant upside as it looks to rub shoulders and gain attention from the likes of Pfizer Incorporated, PFE, Merck & Company Incorporated, MRK, AstraZeneca plc, AZN, and Novartis AG, NVS, all aiming to capitalize on what may be the next blockbuster and defend hundreds of millions from a silent killer. Globally, ReportLinker estimated the antihypertensive drugs market at $24.17 billion in 2020, on its way to reach $27.81 billion in 2025. About 114 million Americans have hypertension. In 2020 alone, more than 670,000 deaths in the United States had hypertension as a primary or contributing cause. Lexaria's patented dihydratech technology improves the way active pharmaceutical ingredients enter the bloodstream, resulting in better uptake and lower dosage. Lexaria's dihydratech hypertension study just marked a major milestone on the path to approval. New player in $24 billion market. Hypertension occurs when too much force pushes against the arteries that carry blood from the heart to the body. Most adults with hypertension in the United States are treated with recommended lifestyle modifications and prescribed medications, which include a wide spectrum of drugs such as alpha blockers, beta blockers, diuretics, ACE inhibitors, ARB inhibitors, and other options for resistant disease. In its 2021 industry report, ReportLinker estimated the global antihypertensive drugs market at $24.17 billion in 2020, on its way to reach $27.81 billion in 2025. All told, hypertension costs the country on average $131 billion annually, and even more sobering, in 2020 alone, more than 670,000 deaths in the United States had hypertension as a primary or contributing cause. A recognized global innovator in drug delivery platforms, Lexaria Bioscience Corp, LEXX on NASDAQ, is determined to fill the need for a safe, effective, tolerable treatment for hypertension and have a meaningful impact on comorbidity-related costs and deaths. Its patented flagship product, dihydratech, improves the way APIs, or active pharmaceutical ingredients, enter the bloodstream by promoting healthier oral ingestion methods and increasing the effectiveness of fat-soluble active molecules. Dihydratech promotes fast-acting, less expensive, and more effective oral drug delivery and has been thoroughly evaluated through in vivo, in vitro, and human clinical testing. The science is somewhat complex, but the process to implement it is rather simple. The technology adds a couple of new steps in the formulation and manufacturing of existing or new oral and topical products. The process involves combining the API with select fatty acids, infusing the mixture into a substrate, and then using controlled dehydration synthesis processing to associate the payload and fatty acids together at a molecular level, before integrating the newly combined molecules into end product production across a range of dosage form factors. Lexaria's patent estate protecting its DihydroTech IP is expansive, including 26 patents granted in the United States, Australia, the European Union, Japan, Mexico, and India. The company also has roughly 50 additional patents pending. The evidence speaks for itself. DihydroTech platform technology has a myriad of potential applications, and Lexaria is already gaining a reputation for being a recognized pioneer in innovative treatments. Various studies evaluating Lexaria's proprietary DihydroTech platform have showed impressive results regarding delivery, with a 12-patient 2018 study showing 317% more substance delivered to the bloodstream at 30 minutes after ingestions, and several studies in 2021 demonstrating efficacy specifically related to hypertension. A 24-person study, HyperH21-1, evidenced rapid and sustained drop in blood pressure, especially systolic pressure, and particularly in stage 2 hypertensive volunteers. A 16-person study, HyperH21-2, added to the databank and a durable response showing up to a 23% average reduction in overnight blood pressure and reduced arterial stiffness. That was followed by another 16-person study, HyperH21-3, demonstrating attenuated pulmonary artery systolic pressure by approximately 5 mmHg, or 41% overall in male participants. All work supported a strong safety and tolerability profile for DihydroTech treatment. Closing in on IND. As it marches toward filing an IND, or Investigational New Drug application, with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, Lexaria launched its most comprehensive trial to date, HyperH21-4. A human clinical hypertension study, Lexaria just announced the next major step to approval. Dosing has been completed in this study, and no serious adverse events were reported as a result of the dosing. The randomized, double-blinded, placebo-controlled crossover study was designed to enroll a minimum of 60 patients. Dosing is now completed, meaning all patients at different times during the study have now received both the full dose regimen as well as the placebo. A total of 64 patients were dosed in this study, with maximum dose levels were up to roughly 5 milligrams per kilogram of weight a day, which is significantly lower than maximum dose levels practiced for other similar regulator-approved pharmaceutical applications. This is great news for Lexaria and for hypertension patients around the world, as it's strongly believed reduced dosing ameliorates unwanted side effects such as clinically significant elevated liver enzymes. Quote, demonstrating a noteworthy safety and tolerability profile relative to conventional antihypertensive medications is one of Lexaria's major goals with this program, and avoiding serious adverse events at clinically efficacious doses will be a primary requirement to achieve eventual regulatory marketing authorizations, end quote, said Lexaria Bioscience Corp CEO Chris Bunka. The primary outcome is effect on 24-hour ambulatory blood pressure, a method of measuring blood pressure continuously. A variety of secondary outcomes are being evaluated, including vascular health, electrocardiogram analysis, brain structure and function through MRI testing, blood biomarkers, renal and hepatic analysis, sleep quality, daytime sleepiness and sleep disorders, actigraphy, geriatric depression scale, perceived stress, and Beck Anxiety Inventory. The breadth of the secondary data could prove invaluable at identifying other benefits of the therapy, which dovetails perfectly with DihydroTech being a true platform technology. These other benefits could even lead Lexaria to produce additional FDA-regulated drug opportunities. New phase, more value. As new drug development moves forward, valuations may climb into the hundreds of millions by phase 2, and billions of dollars in Phase 3. Biotech companies with little to no revenue can still be worth billions, says hedge fund expert Raphael Ratjen, CFA. It's essential to recognize that while valuations can be extremely low or extremely high, there is often underlying logic in identifying risks and arriving at those valuations. Developing new drugs can have significant costs of more than $1 billion and can take years to reach the market. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, there are 5 steps to the drug development process. Step 1, discovery and development. Step 2, preclinical research. Step 3, clinical research. Step 4, FDA drug review. Step 5, FDA post-market drug safety monitoring. Lexaria's hypertension to hydrotech program is currently in the range of both Step 2 and 3, focusing on a mix of animal and human studies to evaluate tolerability, safety, and efficacy. Certainly worth noting is that of the 5,000 to 10,000 compounds examined and tested in Step 1, only about 250 successfully reach Step 2, the preclinical research step. Dihydrotech CBD has already reached and is surpassing this stage. To lend additional color to valuations rising along with the FDA approval process, consider that Jazz Pharma paid $7.2 billion for GW Pharma after GW Pharma was successful in receiving FDA approval for Epidiolex, its proprietary treatment for pediatric seizure disorders. It's also worth noting that in March, Pfizer paid $6.7 billion to acquire Arena Pharmaceuticals, a company with a diverse portfolio of drugs in clinical trials. Big Pharma is clearly on the hunt for solutions.
This audio press release is an original broadcast provided by Investor Brand Network, a multifaceted financial news and publishing company that delivers a new generation of corporate communication solutions, including news aggregation and syndication, social communication, and brand awareness tools. Investor Brand Network may receive payments for the services and solutions provided to its client partners. You should assume that the owners, officers, and directors of Investor Brand Network or financial analysts mentioned in this audio production may hold a position in and may intend to trade the securities on their own accounts. This audio production is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any securities mentioned in this audio production. The information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be or should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, investment in the featured companies carries an investment risk. Listeners should review the companies thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This audio production by Investor Brand Network is not purported to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used and statements of fact have been obtained from featured companies and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by Investor Brand Network as to completeness or accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please see our full disclaimers and disclosures at investorbrandnetwork.com.